Okay. So let's see. Did this work over here? Yeah, looks like it is working. Sweet. Yeah, that is working. I'll give it a few minutes, see if anybody is hanging out here. Looks like I'm on Periscope and YouTube successfully. YouTube Live. Yes, my camera is dark because it's hot in here. And turning on the lights makes it freaking hot. It is what it is. But yeah, right now I'm actually just working on something for work. And it's a thumbnail. That's all it is, a thumbnail. Simple. Trying to figure out how I want to work through it, because thumbnails are highly important, folks. I mean, think about it. When you go to, say, YouTube, or even go to like a bookstore or whatever, what you see on the outside, that cover, what you see on YouTube, that thumbnail, usually determines if you want to go ahead and click play or actually open the book. So I try my very best to pay attention to my thumbnails and how they look and the message that they're conveying, and also, are they going to give me a nice high click-through rate? You know what I'm saying? How are you all doing? I don't see anybody in the chat. I see people watching, but I don't see anybody in the chat. So how are you doing? And there's always about a 5-second delay or something crazy long like that. Sorry about the delay. Nothing I can do about it. But I'll go ahead and show y'all Photoshop while I get to work on this thumbnail project. Digital King shows up in the chat. That's what's up. Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing all right. Let's go ahead and open up Photoshop. And there, I'll have my live chat right there on the screen too. So if anybody wants to see that, they can see that there as well. So let's get started on this thing. I'll turn the light on for just a second. Hello. Now I'm turning the light off. Trying to stay cool. All right, so I want to get started on this thumbnail. This is a base image that I wanted to work with. I was choosing between this image, that image, that image, or that image. And I landed on this image here. This is the image that I would like to go with. And we're going to make this work some kind of way. But the thing is, you always got to make sure it has some sort of pop to it. I guess if I move the chat window over here, it won't go away. Let's see. I'll do it like this. Let's take Photoshop out of full screen. We'll move this over here. We'll move Photoshop like this. Make it a little bit larger. There we go. All right, so now we at least have both the chat and Photoshop on the same screen. And I could probably make this smaller too. How about that? That probably looks better, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and have some fun with this. I'm going to flatten this image. Then I'm going to go to my sharpening. option and just go ahead and get started with sharpening this thing up. Boom, it's done like that. Quickly, fast, in a hurry. It's a little too sharp. So we'll turn it down just a touch. Still a little bit too sharp. Yeah. No, it's not sharp enough, so maybe about 4 is where it needs to be. Yeah, that'll work. So I got it as sharp as I want it to be. I'm going to merge all of these layers together. I'm going to make a duplicate copy just in case. And I will call this, no, I don't have to call it anything because I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to make this a smart object because now I'm going to get into a little bit of camera raw post-processing on this image. Let's make this thing look a little bit better. So give it a little more exposure. Turn down the highlights. Right there. Turn down the highlights just a touch. Turn down the contrast just a little too. Now let's make that contrast even more because this is a thumbnail. Because with the thumbnail, you really need that thing to stand out. And sometimes that means more saturation and more contrast. And it definitely has to be properly exposed because people won't click on it. So we got that. All right, so now details. Sharpening was good. Let's give it some noise reduction just to be safe. That looks good. Okay. Let's play around with some of the color profiles. So if I do it this way on this red channel, it looks a little more orange. And I don't want to look orange. See, watch when I push it. See how my skin turns more orangey, orange green. Don't want that. Let's just do it just a touch. Then I'll do this blue channel. And that sort of overdid it. So right about there is fine. And let's go to like clarity and contrast. Sometimes pushing the clarity number really high gives you this really unique look that can be a bit eye-catching like that. See how it gives it a lot more contrast and more shadow and some rough details. I like the rough details, but I don't like all of the contrast. So I'm going to take some of the contrast out. Just a little bit. There we go. All right, I think that looks better. So I'm going to hit OK. Go back to Photoshop. This is the before, and this is the after. Much brighter, a little bit more of a highlight on it. Cool. So now I'm done with the general edit part of this thing. But now I want to give it something else. I don't know, maybe some color. So let's see. I want to take a look at something over here on the other page on my browser. Let's see. I'll pull that up. Let's pull this over here so you could see it. There we go. So I want to work along the lines of this color scheme here. You know, I don't know what color that is. It's not teal green, more of a teal blue, and then you got this orange. But what would look better here? I'm thinking maybe that blue would work because of my skin tone. You know what I'm saying? So let me move this over here, make it smaller. We'll keep it on the screen as reference. How about that? That's how we will do this. We'll just keep it on the screen as reference. But I want this blue. Something like that. So I will do a new solid layer just for the heck of it. Solid color like that. And then I'm going to take my little eyedropper because it'll sample colors. And if you didn't notice, inside of Photoshop, this little eyedropper tool here, it'll sample whatever color you click on. But if said color isn't inside of Photoshop, you can just hold down the click and drag, and you can drag outside of the app. See right there is picking up the color blue here. And if I was to hop up to that little browser window, or heck, even go down here to this icon at the bottom down here, it'll sample orange. And I'm not inside of Photoshop. I'm outside of the app altogether. And then if I drag it to this browser window, it'll sample the green bricks, the red bricks. But what I want is this color here. I want this blue. And then you just let go. And then you just go back to Photoshop, click OK, and you got it. Now this blend mode is wrong because I want to be able to see underneath it. So let's try soft light. I don't like that. I could do color. Maybe. So let's keep that in mind. Color might work. Definitely not color burn. Lighten, no. Screen, no. Soft light looks okay. Man, this is a tough one. So that's color, and then there's soft light. So let's try soft light for now. But we're going to go back. This is what I'll do. I'll do a copy of that layer. And I'm going to turn it off. The little copy. Well, the copy. There we go. I'll turn off the copy. And I'll do a comparison. So let's change that blend mode. Change this blend mode to color. So that's what it would look like with color. That's what it would look like with soft light. It's hard to pick. I'm going to start with soft light though. Then I'm going to change the fill. Pull that down just a little bit. Nah, I don't know. This is why it takes so long to do thumbnails, because it's all trial and error. Yeah, let's keep it like this for now. But we have a layer mask to work with, so we're going to use a layer mask to bring back some of the color. So I'm going to brush in to bring back some color on my face, like that. Bring back color on my shirt. Where's my Wacom tablet? I hate doing this stuff with a mouse. We're going to grab the Wacom tablet. All right, got my tablet. And we're just going to brush in. See, I'm much faster with my stylus. Much faster. Like that. Uh-oh, I think my keyboard died. Oh no, my keyboard has died. I don't have any power on my keyboard. That's the worst. So I'm gonna have to plug in my keyboard here in a second just to give it a few minutes of juice, because I need my keyboard shortcuts. fast. That is so annoying. I'm really trying to use my keyboard shortcuts. And the keyboard is like, nah, dude. Okay, so now what I've done was basically brought the color back on me. But what if I left some of the color on there? So let's switch it back to add some of the color back. And I'm just going to sort of lightly touch it in certain spots. So let's do something like that. Nah, not on my lips. What the hell? Like that. Okay, so we got a little bit of color and a little bit of that blue. Let's take this solid blue color and let's see what happens if we change that color. Something like that, maybe. There. Now, something I'm noticing is this left side is white. So that means the blend mode isn't quite right for this one. So what I think I need to do is maybe sample. Yeah, I think I would have to sample that. But first, let me just worry about this layer mask a little bit more. Brush tool, not stamp tool. I could do that. I want some of that blue hue on me, but not all of it. So we'll make my eyes and my cheeks have the regular skin tone. Make my lips have the regular skin tone. And just a touch on my hand. But we'll put some blue tone back on this camera like that. Wait a minute, somebody's texting me. All right, texting is good to go. Okay, so back to the project at hand. So let's see, we'll put some blue back over here on my shirt. Just a little, that might be a little much. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, a little blue there. Got the blue over here. Blue's in the back. I think that works okay. Yeah, it looks like that works okay. All right, so now I will go ahead and just make this layer its own little raster layer. And now what I'll do is do my stamp tool, because this area over here on the left, right there, it's got a big white streak. Don't want that. It should be blue like the rest of it. So we're going to sample it and we're going to paint in some blue. It's all because of the blend mode. That's the problem. Okay, so let's do a blend if on this blend mode, on this layer. See if that fixes it. So say this layer, hold down Alt. So when I slide this, That's bringing the bottom layer in. I don't want that. Let's say if it's blue. Gotta be careful. Yeah, I don't really want that bottom layer like that. So blend if doesn't work. Not in this scenario. Interesting. That's really bizarre. That's the funny thing about blend modes, is they can be so confusing. So confusing. Alright, but there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to put that layer up under here. And then I'm going to fill that layer with this color. And say edit, fill, foreground. Okay. Like that. Then I'm going to make a layer mask. And I'm going to paint myself back into this image. Just like this. There we go. Painted myself in. Thank you, layer mask. There we go. I think that works, right? Let's paint it in. Whoops, we don't want that white bar back. But we do want that to show up over here. Like so. Boom. That's got it. That'll work. Whoops, I need to backspace. Here we go. Alright. I like this so far. Idiot, don't do that. Just clean this up just a little. Okay, so it looks like that's working so far. I'm going to move this down. Probably not going to use it, but I got it just to be safe. So now I will merge this layer. And what else can we do with this? Oh, I can fix some of these little details. Okay. Like, Canon's not paying me. And I know I'm pretty proud of being a Canon user. But I try not to put them in my thumbnails. So let's get rid of this here. So what I'll do is I'll make a selection around those words. And I'll go to Content Aware Fill. And I want to erase it. That doesn't look good at all. Boy, that does not look good. The algorithm is failing me. All right, there's more than one way to skin a cat. That's what my dad used to say. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to do some clone stamping. So we'll say S on the keyboard. We'll make this a lot smaller. We're going to zoom in tighter so we can get more control. And I'm just going to take a sample of this area. And then I'm going to brush in. Like right there. Do another sample. And just keep brushing it in until I can get rid of it. Another sample. And eventually what happens when you get enough of it cleaned up like this on a smaller scale, then you can go in and use those faster AI tools like Content Aware Fill or Patch Tool. All right, so that's getting rid of that logo fairly well. Okay. I dig that. Now let's fix it on this side because it's got this weird curve and it's got a shadow, so that's going to be a bit more challenging. Like that. You just sort of have to be mindful of stuff like the gradient colors and shadows and things like that. It's just how I flow. Get in there. There we go. See, that used to say Canon. Remember that? It doesn't say Canon anymore. Again, nothing against Canon. I love Canon, but I don't always want to stick brands on my thumbnails. I don't. Especially if I'm not being paid for it or anything like that. You know, I don't get any benefit from it. Nah, I mean... So we'll need to do the same thing with this stuff. So let's try to AI on it again. Okay. Edit. Content Aware Fill. Not very good either. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of the finger. Because it's trying to take a sample from my finger. That's pointless. Really? Still my finger? Dude, my finger does not need to be sampled. Let's get rid of all that. Now we're talking. Still a little bit questionable. Let's try it. We can always undo. Okay, so we'll go back to stamping. Making that. On this here. So I got rid of the logo pretty good. Okay, let's get rid of this. Here we go. It ain't pretty, but it's going away. It's definitely going away. I should probably move the mic where you can hear me, huh? Bad habit. Okay, so now let's zoom out a little bit, take a look-see. Sweet, no logo. So let's go to this lens and do the same thing on the lens. Clean it up. Take a sample. Get rid of that there letter. Just brush it away a little bit at a time. It'll go. Now, it can be a little bit difficult when you're dealing with curves. You have to take multiple samples sometimes. And then again, when the shadow and gradient starts to pop in, definitely want to make sure you're taking another sample. Every time that cursor changes to that right there, I'm taking a sample, and then I start painting. There we go. Almost there. There we go. Cleaning it up. No logos. I will say one thing about Canon. At the time of recording this here live stream, we are a few hours away for the next Canon camera announcement. It will be at 5 a.m. my time. It's 2:43 p.m. my time at the moment. Looking forward to that, and I hope I can actually get one of those cameras for myself. We forgot another logo. Do it like that. All right. Okay. So that's fair. Let's try something else just for the heck of it. Another layer. No, we'll do a gradient map. So we're saying adjustment layer, gradient map. Foreground and background is okay. So let's make this a touch darker. Something like that. Hit OK. Change the blend mode. No, I don't like any of those. Yeesh. Those are bad. I think this looks pretty much the same way. Yeah. Well, maybe if I do soft light, and then let's change the color to something totally random. Make it darker. How's that? That's not bad. That's not bad. It just still feels like it's missing something. I don't know what. It's a little bit annoying. Dang, another text. Okay, answering the text. There, they've answered it. Okay, good. Back to Photoshop, sorry. I promise you I don't have a short attention span. I think that's about all I can do on this one. I'm going to see if I can give it just a touch more clarity. Just for that little weird over-processed look for thumbnails. So we'll say filter, camera raw filter. And then I'll push this clarity slider. Nope, don't do that. We'll do the texture slider. There we go. I like that. A little more color vibrance. There we go. Nice. Get in there. A little more color vibrance. Take away the saturation. And okay. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. I think that will work. Sweet. So, that's it. And I will do an export. Hopefully this is in the 16:9 aspect ratio. It is. Hit OK. Send it to my junk folder. Can't spell. Boom, it's done. All right. Well, thank you all for taking the time to hang out with me and watch me goof off and work on some stuff. It's just another day. Hope y'all are doing all right, though. Thanks for everything, and make sure you're subscribed and liking and commenting and sharing and all that good stuff. It does mean a lot. Okay, until next time, y'all take care. We'll see you.